Welcome back to Trading 360. I'm Nicole Petalides, live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Time for the big three. 3 stocks, 3 charts, 3 trades. Rick Ducat will take us through the charts. Here to take us through the trades, Alan Nuckman, Chief Market Strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Great to see you both. Alan, I know you're watching the markets at new highs, looking at those technicals. What's been jumping out at you on the S&P or any trends you're watching?
Well, for me, there's nothing new here. The trend, I wasn't expecting the trend to come to an end. We're in a momentum market, and now we've seen a relief rally. And let's look for this to continue and extend itself. But this is just a larger overall run-up. It doesn't matter what administration we're in. You know, we've rallied 50% in the last couple of years, and you know, it looks like we're off to the races.
All right. Now, first up, your first trade's going to be with Marathon Digital. Why did this one jump out at you?
Well, crypto, again, I'm no crypto expert. I'm no trading bro for sure, but I can read a chart, and it's got a very positive chart. Obviously, it traded between 50 and 70,000. When you look at Bitcoin, it broke out of that range. So that targets 90,000, which is still up above. So, you know, we're within this close of the all-time highs even before the election. So it's got its own internal strength and so forth. So crypto plays, I've looked at Riot. We've had Clean Spark. So we've talked about numerous crypto plays from a risk-reward standpoint. The crypto miners haven't participated in this rally until recently. So I'm looking at Mara trading about for 19 and a quarter. It's been between 15 and 20 for, you know, a long period of time. You're also seeing leverage buying. You're also seeing bullish divergence where it made a new low but not new highs. And so it's got all of the indicators that I like, and a breakout of this range targets 25. And so I'm looking at a position there with a 15 call, a call down to support. It's trading for about 650 right now. And I think there's a lot more upside because the miners are significantly discounted to their previous highs or even their 2022 highs. And so there's a lot of upside potential there, just looking for a bottom-based breakout.
I mean, we had so much fun watching anything related to Bitcoin this week.
Yep.
Yesterday, we were talking about Coinbase up 20%, Bitcoin at new highs. We've certainly seen a lot of action in the group and volatility, too. How about we have Rick Ducat take a look here at the technicals, please.
You know, Nicole, I couldn't help but notice all 3 of our companies start with the letter M today. And I started noticing that there was a lot of M-type patterns in these charts, which are important for technicians to keep an eye on. And I'll tell you why. There's actually 3 good examples in this particular chart. First, all the way back here, big rally to the upside and give us this M-type shape. This would be kind of a bull trap type shape here, where we had a significant surge to the upside, then a strong, drop to the downside, and then another rally, but it doesn't get as high as it did previously. That's a sign of waning enthusiasm, and in this case it did eventually translate into a collapse, but it also gave us a consistent bottom to watch. This green line here near about 1485, so that's one way you can use these kind of M shapes. Similar situation here. In this case though, the M, the second high, was actually higher on an intraday basis, but if you look here, we never managed to close above the previous closing price here. So even though we had some fireworks, it didn't really work out. We had the same kind of collapse here, giving us another repeated low point to watch. That's our pink line here, 2250. You can see how many times it's proved a stopping point over and over again. Now, more recently, we have another M, zigzag type shape here, and this shows us that we're range bound. We're stuck in a range here, but we are kind of pushing out to the upside. We're breaking above our red line today. We're still kind of within a channel, but we've pushed above all our moving averages, our volume profile point of control, and a downward slope on our RSI. So looking, the bulls would be looking for a breakout probably to this, red line 2250, then eventually these old highs near 28.
All right. Thank you for that. I like the M theme, too. You're not wrong. Alan?
Yeah, I came up with the M theme. I was just, looking for the stocks as I do, looking for the setups that I look for. And it all happened to be that they were, started with the letter M. So I guess it's MM good as far as these chart patterns go. And it's about risk reward. To get back to the Bitcoin miners, I can't talk enough about risk reward and how much of the market's already taken off. And these haven't. And I think I can look at these kind of like the gold miners which were stuck for a while. And then when gold made new highs, the gold miners started to firm up. Same kind of thing is happening here. It's got a little lag behind it, but I love the risk reward in these Bitcoin miner plays.
All right, next up we have Mbly. Tell me a little bit about that.
Again, it's just a chart. I'm seeing leverage buying coming in, and it's been trading sideways between 10 and 20. So we're above the 15 midpoint, so that should send it to the 20 range top, and then a breakout above that sends it to 25. Bigger picture, that we could, a breakout of that 20 sends it to 30 actually. So again, it's about risk reward here. Some stock that hasn't taken off just yet, but I have my indications that a bottom is in place. And so I'm looking at a February 15 call, again, the bottom of that range, trading around 4, it's a couple dollars in the money. It's got 3 months of time and is positioning for that breakout. And that's what I like to do. And that's what I've done on this show since the get-go is buying options with plenty of time that are in the money. And then when it does make this technical breakout move, it's a confirmation I'm on the right side of the trade, and then it'll build on it. But again, these profit from just modest moves in the underlying stock, these options can do very, very well.
Okay. Let's see what Rick Ducat has to say about this chart, which, by the way, up 11% today, makes it trickier to trade, I'm sure. Let's see.
Another chart that could be making a turnaround here to the upside. But, to continue our M theme, these M's show the range-bound price activity. Right here, it gives us a clear boundary to the upside and the downside. You can kind of see that shaded box here. Once again, same deal here. A zigzag type of price pattern that took place between roughly 25 and 33 or so. And then we did eventually break to the downside. That's why we look for these repeated areas of support and resistance, because the moves, when we do eventually breach them, can be very energetic here. Now, just a couple other things. We saw bullish divergence here at these low points. We kind of had a more consistent bottoming area near about 1210. That's also roughly where our volume profile point of control comes in, so around 1275. So this was a very significant area. A lot of activity. Could mean the bottom is in here. Upward sloping trend line, taking out our two moving averages, yellow 21-day and orange 63-day. RSI bullish, not quite above the overbought area, but making a new high over the previous high. Resistance area between our two red lines, this gap level, 1845 to 20, then our old range, 25 right here. That would ultimately be where volume starts to pick up again, and we'd be back in our old range with that M shape.
All right, let's see. Final thoughts here on this one. Alan, please.
Yeah, it's again just about the risk reward in this particular positioning. And I like his phrase energetic. I call it a coiled spring, and a coiled spring, when it pops, it's built up that energy to continue that explosion. Now, today we've seen already a breakout move on this stock. When I researched it, it didn't have this breakout move. So let's see how it follows through. But that's why I use options, because I'm looking at the big picture to see how it develops. It builds on this in the next coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting, too. We're covering a lot of lift today. Mbly had that partnership. They announced that they have the deal to boost availability of robo-taxis. So this is some good news here for the two companies.
And if you go in your archive here, the last time we did this Big Three show 2 weeks ago, Lyft was my number one, my number one Big Three stock. So I didn't know the connection, but there we go.
Who knew, right? But you were on it. If you're telepathic. Okay, let's take a look here at Marathon Oil.
I wouldn't use the word telepathic. I would say that I like to position for success with high probability, and I've got my indicators put me on the right side of the trade. All right, let's get into MRO. So I wanted to stick with the M's. This is the worst of the M's. This is Marathon Oil. It's been between 25 and 30 now for 8 months. And so we're in a bull market. At some point, these oil companies are going to participate. It wasn't that long ago that Exxon made all-time highs. Oil has disappointed me again and again and again, and we don't have enough time for me to give you the number of agains that's disappointed me on the upside. So a breakout of this range targets 35. It's just math here. I'm looking at a March 25 call. Got 4 months of time. It's trading at 450. It's 350 in the money, so I have the right to be long from 25, which is a discount to where we are. I don't think there's that much downside in the oil market. I think that that sector still has a lot of potential, and it just hasn't done it yet. So we also have the OVI in the fact that we also have the money flow into this stock. So someone's building some long positions here. So I'm going to follow the money on this stock and see if this M can shake it up a little bit.
All right, let's see if Rick looks at these technicals and finds it to be the most worrisome of the three, let's say, or maybe least strong. I don't know. Rick?
Well, I guess you could say perhaps maybe the least strong, but I would describe it as the most range bound. Once again, continuing our final M theme here, we had our gap up. This gave us our green line to watch, 25.55. You could draw a ton of M's here. You can see that we've kind of repeatedly zigzagged up and down here. Very obvious range. The low point that I just mentioned was tested repeatedly and held between like 25.50 to 26 or so. That would be kind of the buy range for as traders have been looking at it. And to the upside more, we have the high point, 29.75. That was our around where our best close. That was kind of where we topped out a few times beyond that. But also when you look here, you can see this darker red line here. Once again, a frequent point for price to either close or have trouble staying above. We didn't really make hardly any progress above that area. I notice as well the boundaries are where the volume starts to drop off significantly. So this is our range. These are the boundaries to watch, 29 to 25.55. Volume profile point of control, 27.70. Once again, frequent stopping point for price too. But for now, we're above our moving averages, but we're near the top of the range, so to speak here. RSI halted at a repeated ceiling as well here, but we could see a breakout. Those are the levels to watch.
Okay, Rick, thank you for those charts and your insight there. Final thoughts, Alan Nuckman.
Well, an MRO, the simple measured move target of 35, this option would gain 100%. So, it's looking for a modest move. And I just want to finish up with we're seeing obviously a market melt up. And so everything remains, very, very positive, and we're going to get a rate cut today. So again, it's not my job to pick a change in the trend. I want to just go with the market momentum, and we've got plenty of that right now.
We probably think you have a crystal ball or something. Thank you, Alan Nuckman, bullseyeoption.com. Rick Ducat there on the charts. Appreciate you both. Thank you.